Democrat Mayor Eric Adams facing growing calls to resign amid an ongoing multiple federal probes into his administration. Yeah, but don't worry. He says he doesn't really worry about optics. The optics on this one, 4 probes, but the optics, we don't really worry about that. We're just going to keep on going. Yeah, we're working for the people. Let's get into it. Here we go.
This mayor has to resign.
City Councilwoman Tiffany Cabán is now the first city council member to call on Mayor Eric Adams to resign following numerous federal investigations. The mayor has not been charged in connection with any of these federal inquiries, but Cabán says that it has been a pattern of mismanagement.
It's not just that more than 15 of his associates are being investigated, but it's also, a culmination of his other failures of leadership.
There are believed to be at least 4 federal investigations targeting the mayor and his top aides. This includes the investigation that prompted the former NYPD Police Commissioner Edward Cabán to resign last week. Federal investigators are reportedly looking into whether Cabán's twin brother sold police protection to nightlife businesses. Several NYPD executives have also been caught up in that investigation and had to turn over their phones to the FBI. Additionally, federal prosecutors are also reportedly investigating 2 deputy mayors, a top Adams aide, the school's chancellor, and Adams' campaign for other alleged corruption violations.
Did you hear that list? Those are significant folks. Those are not low. That secretary over there and the doorman for the building, yeah, they're getting probed. No, you've got major players within this administration getting a little probe action, right? Yep, they're getting probed by an alien.
In a stunning move over the weekend, Adams' chief legal advisor, Lisa Zornberg, also abruptly quit. And in her very short letter to the mayor, she said, quote,
"This is classic. It's been a great honor to serve the city." This is a Dear Mayor letter. "It's been a great honor to serve the city. I'm tendering my resignation effective today immediately, as I have concluded that I can no longer effectively serve in my position because you don't listen to me, your attorney, you knucklehead. P.S. I wish you nothing but the best." Literally, I wish you nothing but the best. This is the ultimate F-U letter in resignation. I got to get this out. I'm going to make it short. Man, I want to say so much more. I'm so tempted. After a couple of glasses of wine at night, I'm so tempted to just write a letter. She doesn't. She sends this out. That's what you get.
"I have concluded that I can no longer effectively serve in my position." According to numerous outlets, Zornberg quit over frustration that the mayor would not fire some of his aides that are caught up in these federal investigations.
She has been a great advisor. There are many things she advised us on, and we moved on. But I'm not.
As an advisor, she's advised them on stuff, but we're not going to really talk about that because as my non-advisor, now she is no longer advising me. Therefore, she won't advise, further down the road. We're going to focus on getting the job done, though. We're going to really hammer down and focus on the job.
I'm going to go into the private conversation.
2 state lawmakers are also calling on Adams to resign. State Senator Julia Salazar and State Assemblywoman Emily Gallagher.
Eric Adams is failing at his job. His administration is rampant with serious scandal, and that's a sign of poor management.
If the mayor were to resign, which he has insisted he would not, public advocate Jumaane Williams would step in as temporary mayor. Williams says that is not something he is focused on, but called the growing number of investigations around Adams exhausting.
I don't think any of us in our lifetime or our parents' lifetime has seen anything like this. It's shocking. It's stunning. And I don't think we're getting the appropriate response for how heavy this actually is.
That was my point earlier when I brought up the fact, did you hear that list of people? And keep that in mind. We're gonna read, after we get done with, Green Dress here, we're gonna read what, Mayor Eric Adams' response is. And it's like, What world are you living in?
And the nonprofit news outlet The City is also just now reporting that a high-level NYPD official whose phone was confiscated by the FBI in a federal corruption probe is also now leaving the force.
Steve, interesting. Just sort of ratchets up a little bit. Yeah. So talk to us exactly how much pressure do you think the mayor is under to resign? And is that just expected to grow in the coming days and weeks?
the New York Times had an article over the weekend that said it's been since 1932 since a mayor has seen 3 police commissioners, and the mayor at that time, Mayor Walker, resigned due to corruption. So this is a stunning development. And to Jumaane Williams' point, some council members and state lawmakers feel like Adams just isn't taking it as seriously as he should be. Now, the U.S. Attorney, Damian Williams today, even said in his press conference when he was asked, what do you tell New Yorkers? There's just so much going on right now, so many different investigations. And he said he couldn't comment too much right now. But he said that if anybody else knows of any corruption or is involved in any sort of corruption, they need to come forward now.
Wow.
Get your deal while you can.
Come talk to us. Just deny there's anything wrong. That's what you do. You just, scandal? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I mean, my attorney quit. All the heads of all my departments, they're all quitting, or they're being investigated, or sometimes both. But yeah, I mean, here we go. Top legal advisor to New York City mayor. I don't need these on to talk to you, do I? Top legal advisor to New York City mayor quits as investigations swell. So we had that one. That one was a big one. When your attorney quits, if it's not for something like non-payment, then you know that that attorney is like, hey, I'm not gonna be your toad here and try and tell you what to do, give you my professional advice as your attorney and not have you do it. I am not down for that, because that is not what I do. And that's essentially what she said, is that he won't listen to me. He won't listen to me because he figures, hey, I'm the mayor of New York. I'm the king of New York. I don't need to listen to my attorney. I think you do, because his attorney is probably saying, fire this person, fire this person, fire this person. And allegedly because of Eric Adams' poor leadership, he's just getting run over, and he's just allowing other folks within his administration to basically be making decisions. And the one decision he's not making is that he should fire a bunch of these folks. He's not doing. So even amidst all of this absolute craziness, he's not coming up with hey, this would help me out if I fired a bunch of these people, and people could go, oh, okay, well, it's not the mayor. It's his personnel, and he's getting rid of the bad seeds. He's getting rid of the bad apples. So all is good. Resignation comes after the phones of multiple members of Mayor Eric Adams' inner circle were seized by federal investigators. Remember, Eric Adams walked out of a meeting in New York City, and FBI is like, hey, yeah, gonna need your phone, gonna need your iPad, any other electronics you or your crew have on you right now. We'd like those. Thank you very little. They literally did that to him. That's when I was kind of like, oh, that is interesting. That's interesting. So, okay. So we got that. Optics of scandal. This is what I always focus on, is the optics, because it's not times it's the facts. Nobody cares about the facts. It's just, how does the situation look? And an example of that would be with Mayor Bruce Harrell and our police chief, who used to be former interim police chief Adrian Diaz. Adrian Diaz had so many accusations of sexual misconduct against members of the police force, namely women, that the optics were terrible. And Bruce Harrell said, hey, love you, man, because they go back a long time. Love you, man, but you're too much of a distraction. You got to go. You got to go. And in a last-ditch effort, Adrian Diaz came out and said, wait, I can't have sexually harassed these people. I'm gay. I'm a gay Hispanic man who's, should be able to retain his job as chief of police. That didn't happen. And he says since hasn't got, I think he applied for the job down in San Antonio or Austin, somewhere like that. They didn't give it to him. Mayor Eric Adams says he is not worried about the optics of the scandal his administration is facing, including the federal probe and a wave of resignations. After vowing to rebuild New York City's battered post-pandemic economy, series of federal investigations into people in the administration appears to have slowed down his "I can get this done" mantra. Some members of the administration not under investigation, including one over the weekend, have resigned. You've got so many that have resigned that it just kind of points to, if he's not in on it, Well, then most of his crew was, and he's the dummy for not identifying it sooner and doing something about it. And that's basically what his attorney is saying as well. Mayor Adams said he doesn't worry about optics. Well, Mayor, your attorney is saying you should, and you should be doing something about it. And she just quit. So, yet he called his top leadership team to the City Hall Rotunda, where they stood behind him as he took credit for everything from cleaner and safer streets to growing the city's economy, even planting more trees. I mean, he's going to have to point out the positives, and he's going to take credit for stuff that he has no business taking credit for. But whatever. You know, chief of police in New York, it's all politics, right? It's all politics. So my thought is Eric Adams, he doesn't seem like he's the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean, right? He doesn't strike me as having the full mental capabilities to make the decisions necessary to run a police department of that size. Now, I'm a real estate appraiser by trade. I'm a real estate broker by trade, but, and more managing broker than actual broker. But running businesses, you gotta have a skill set to make that all go. And Eric Adams doesn't, the way that he speaks and the way that he reads indicates to me that he might have been hired because others can control him. That's just my thought. That is my thought when I watch him and I see him publicly speak, not trying to roast the mayor at all, but that's just an observation from here in Seattle, Washington. It's like, that guy's the mayor. I mean, okay. All right. Okay. Let's run with that. And we'll see. He is a former cop. A lot of folks say he's a made man. Maybe he is. I don't know. We have one mission, and that's the mission of making sure that this city is livable, affordable, and safe for everybody, working class people. The press conference comes less than 48 hours after Lisa Zernberg, his chief counsel, abruptly resigned with that little quick note. Have a nice day. Have a nice life. I am no longer your attorney. You know, I don't get into optics, because if you get into optics, you're going to have to not do what's factual, Adams replied. And like I just said earlier, it's oftentimes not about the facts. It's about how does it look to the general public. And what folks in New York are saying is, this doesn't look good. This looks terrible. This looks horrific. Yeah, let's just keep going. And let's see what goes on. New York City Police Commissioner resigns after his phone was seized in federal investigation. How many other people within this organization is it going to take for them to be doing probes on, taking their phones, taking their iPads, taking their electronics, all these raids? How many of these are they going to have to do before, Eric Adams realizes, oh, yeah, this doesn't look good. This is terrible. This is a terrible look. I can't get out of this one. Maybe it's time to step aside. He's going to have somebody from probably a little higher up say, hey, you need to step down. You know who had that happen to him? Our fearless president, Joe Biden. Yeah. We haven't talked about Biden at all, have we? Is he still president? Is he still alive? Is he awake? What's he doing? Because it wasn't until some top officials told him, hey, yeah, that last debate, that was horrific. You did a terrible job. You've got dementia. Something that, conservatives and Republicans have been saying for years, literally years prior to the last election. The guy couldn't get out a couple of sentences, straight without absolutely jumbling up his facts and run on sentences that made no sense. They literally made no sense. It's like that one time Trump looked over and went, right? and then he said, I don't know what he just said. I don't think he knew either. It's one of those things where folks tell the individual, you got to step down. You got to step down. So I think Eric Adams will step down. But maybe it takes another couple of, probes, another couple of, hey, we'd like your phones. We'd like all of your devices that you communicate with. We'd like those. Maybe it takes another couple of those and then some more pressure on top. But the word is, and that's why I'm doing this podcast, this is a real thing. he's being asked to step down. Just going to take some pressure to probably get him there. Because with all of this stuff going on, I don't see how he stays in office. But you know what? Crazier things have happened in big blue Democrat-run cities, right? All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.